Belarus, 16 years on from the tragedy of Chernobyl. Almost a quarter of the country is still contaminated. Over the years, 135,000 residents have been displaced. 260,000 hectares of fertile soil have been dug up, rendering it useless. Hundreds of thousands of people still live in the less infected regions, however, such as here, in Mogilov. About 150 kilometers or so from the capital Minsk, almost 500,000 inhabitants live here in Belarus. Many desperate residents survive on what they can grow for themselves in the garden. Whether these vegetables are safe or not, whether they were bought and who eats them, is entirely unregulated by the state, says its critics. One such critic is Vasily Listrenko. He heads an independent institute for radiation safety and regularly takes measures across the country. Since neither the family nor the state can supply the children with healthy food, they have to use contaminated food. The effects of so-called small doses of radiation is the basis of very many diseases and the reason so many children are ill. Renata is one of the thousands of sick. She is almost blind. A tumour is swelling in her brain. Her parents remain in no doubt the illness is a direct result of the meltdown. I didn't used to live in Babrushk, but in a town to the east of here. After the explosion in 1986 we had to move, but it was too late. The radiation had affected our reproductive organs. Renata's chances of survival are marginal, but for the time being she can't go to hospital. A doctor makes regular trips to her house. On this small bus, Dr. Diana Hajanjevich drives through Belarus, visiting seriously ill and dying children. She is part of a team from the Children's Hospice in Minsk, supported by a charity in Austria. Staff here help the children through the last months of their lives. The hospice is contacted when the poorly equipped Belarusian hospitals can no longer look after the children. Like 12-year-old Veronika, who suffers from a rare illness of the immune system. Her skin is extremely pale and sensitive. I'm desperate to help her, but I'm totally powerless. I can't do anything more for her. The hospice staff have decided to get Veronika to Minsk to die. There, she can receive better treatment in a friendly atmosphere. The hospice is a cheery, bright house. Every day, children on death's door arrive here to play and laugh with other dying children. Much more than that the staff can't do.
Hospital. What is main goal hospital? To make child to be healthy, yes? But it's not possible. It is not reason to be in hospital for this child. What is better place, the child? Home. We want to be second home.
In 1985, 80% of Belarusian children were in full health. Since Chernobyl, this figure is consistently closer to 20%. At the Health Ministry, officials urge us not to make too much of statistics. That is, the situation is a long way from ideal, but it is getting better. Infant mortality rates are on a par with European levels, and treatment for cancer is ever improving. Life expectancy is slowly creeping up. The life expectancy for women is presently 73, men 62. I would like to state again that we are almost at Western levels, and we want to be a European country, and we want this with dignity. The Children's Cancer Hospital in Minsk is one of those that has reached Western European standards, with the help of Austrian support. Children from across Belarus suffering from cancer are brought here, usually accompanied by their mothers. They cook for their children and stay with them throughout their treatment. The number of cancer patients hasn't reduced over the last years. However, here they are optimistic.
What is getting better is the treatment is getting better. Sure that we have now can cure, can survive up to 75% of all children with cancer.
Scientific studies have proven a direct link between thyroid cancer and radioactive radiation. Other illnesses are a result of the poor economic value of the soiled earth. A doctor now earns only about $250 a month, and an average citizen can't even afford to feed himself. The state still hands over 20% of its budget for the effects of Chernobyl, a huge burden. Belarus, who doesn't even have any nuclear power itself, is still paying the price 16 years after the explosion of the Ukrainian reactor. Just like her neighbours, she is suffering badly from the effects of radioactive radiation. Without outside help, it will be unable to drag itself out of this crisis. Support of the West, but also cooperation between the afflicted states of the former Soviet Union, is desperately vital. There is one encouraging initiative. With the support of an Austrian relief organisation, Olga Alinikovka, head doctor at the Minsk Cancer Clinic, is setting up a support program for doctors in the neighbouring countries. Together with cancer specialists in Moscow, medical experts are being trained in Tajikistan, Moldova and Georgia. There is a glimmer of hope for all these children affected merely by being born after the disaster in Chernobyl. And now, a few more just may get better.